New York Times, Sheriff Larry Deaver from Cochise County, Arizona, stated he needs a new Arizona law to protect the folks. The sheriff joins us now from Tucson. He is the co-chair of BorderSheriffs.com. First of all, Sheriff, how bad is the illegal alien crime problem? Not the intrusion, the crimes that they commit in your county.
Well, you know, a lot of the criminal activity flies below the radar screen in terms of when federal government, Janet Napolitano and people are saying that crime is down. What isn't reported and seen, there are all the cut fences, the water sources that are destroyed, livestock that dies from ingesting plastics left behind, fences cut, roadways that are damaged, and the upheaval every night with people moving by and through private property. And as we speak, we have a multi-million-dollar fire burning in the eastern part of the county set by drug smugglers, human smugglers in a remote area that burned last year. They call this the Horseshoe Fire 2 because Horseshoe Fire 1 was last year at the same time.
Why would the drug smugglers start the fire?
Well, evenings are still very cool, particularly at 8,000, 9,000 feet. So they start warming fires and then they're not carrying enough water. They carry enough water to keep themselves going. They're not going to put out a fire. So, and we just lifted the evacuation order out there. People had to leave their homes for 3 days. And so that kind of thing goes on. As far as other criminal activity, my good friend Rob Krentz was murdered a year ago. We have rapes. We have home invasions, people tied up. A lot of our southbound burglaries, or burglaries that occur, are southbound smugglers who have delivered their goods, their human cargo, and their contraband, and then they'll hit a house before they get back across the line, steal guns, jewelry, and cash. So in spite of what is claimed by the administration, the border is it absolutely is more dangerous than it's ever been.
All right, now how many miles of border is there Cochise County? How many?
Have 83 and a half miles of international border.
Okay.
30 and a half.
Go ahead. 30 and a half what?
30 and a half of that is private property that abuts the border. So when people cross, they're in someone's backyard, not in the public domain.
How many miles of border fence on that 83 are there?
Well, it depends on what you call fence. There's about 26 miles of it has some iteration, some kind of fence. A lot of it is what they call Normandy fence, which is simply railroad rail that has been welded together to stop vehicles. It doesn't stop people. It's kind of interesting. There's a section in there they call no-climb fence. In other words, you're not supposed to be able to move up it. Somebody did an experiment recently and figured out it takes the average 18 to 25-year-old male about 14 seconds to climb it.
Okay, now Tucson's a big city. I don't understand why all 83 miles doesn't have a fence on it, a fence that is indeed a no-climb fence. Why wouldn't it have that?
Well, I'm sitting here in Tucson, which isn't in my county. I'm down in Tombstone, Bisbee, Douglas, but the studio is here. So
no, I know that, but the whole border basically is impacted by people coming across. They go to Tucson, they go to Bisbee, wherever their organization tells them to go, they go. But I don't understand, in your county, 83 miles doesn't seem hard to build a fence. You guys could probably build it yourself.
Well, you can. The problem is the fence has no value if you can't watch it. And you know, I have 86 deputies to patrol almost 6,300 square miles. Border Patrol has 1,300 agents to protect 83 and a half miles of border. Now, I tell you, those agents work their butts off. And
no, I know.
Very hard.
I mean, but what I'm trying to get at is, it doesn't seem like the federal government has done enough to protect the people in Arizona. And that's why the Arizona legislature passed the law. Now, my final question is, why would it be a good tool for you to be able to ask for citizenship of people that your guys pull over in traffic stops or maybe in other confrontations? Why is that a good tool?
The officers who work the street, and I have three of my boys and one daughter-in-law who do that in cities here in Arizona, and my deputies will tell you that day after day after day they're dealing with the same aliens who are charged with crimes. They serve a little time in jail, they kick back out, and they're never deported, or if they are deported, then they simply can return, and they do return. You mentioned the criminal aliens that have been convicted and have left. As we've seen the overall numbers of illegal alien apprehensions decline at the hands of Border Patrol, we've seen the percentage of criminal aliens defined by them increase. So the bad guys keep coming, Bill.
And you think if you can detain them yourself, this would solve the problem?
It would help. It'd be a very, very useful tool. Where right now, you know, we just they're turned out and they're right back on the street.
All right.
Okay,
Sheriff.
The same kind of problem.
We appreciate you coming on tonight.